I know Colin was massive, but just your thoughts overall in that second overtime period.
Yeah, I mean, they had a guy get hot at the right time. He sent it to the second overtime, and he was hot in that overtime. So, we were a little flat, a little disjointed to start the game, got down, found our way back in it, pushed it to overtime, up 3 after the at the end of the first overtime, and gave up a 3. And looks like the legs fell off a little bit, but also he got hot at the right time. So hats off to him.
His first game, the big 3, and this new group, new look Nets. When you're talking to the guys in the locker room and you're assessing this and with the group, are you focusing more on the negatives, if you will, or the areas to clean it up, or are you bringing up the positives and things that you want to build on?
A bit of both. I mean, mostly the positive though. This is first night that we've had everyone on the floor together. We seemed a little lost at times, which is natural because we haven't played together. So there's a little indecision. We started the game turning the ball over. I think we had 7 or 8 in the first quarter. We cleaned it up, got ourselves back in the game, but obviously, we have to defend better. But I stay positive. These guys, it's the first night out together. We just getting a feel for each other, and this is going to be a process. It's going to take the entire year. So while we're all disappointed, we got lots to build on, lots to grow, and lots more opportunities.
Alex Schiffer, The Athletic.
Hey, Steve, you mentioned that trio of James, Kevin, and Kyrie. It seemed like they were on the court together a while towards the end of that game. I guess, how much did you think fatigue factored in, especially in the second overtime?
Yeah, I think the second overtime, there was fatigue. But, when a guy just gets hot like that, unbelievably hot, there's not a lot you can do. So a bit of everything, if you ask me. And unfortunately, we didn't close it after the first overtime.
Christian Winfield, New York Daily News.
Hey, Coach, can you, obviously a guy gets hot and sometimes, there's nothing you can do about it. But in terms of just complete defense, they ran up 140 points. What did you see that you didn't like out there?
Well, we had breakdowns all over the place. So we got a lot of work to do. I think we know that. We know that, we have a very offensive team right now. So we have to find ways to defend, to get connected, to be on the same page, and that's going to take some time. So it's it's definitely early doors as far as this new team, this new group learning to defend together and how we can be effective defensively. That's got to be one of our the part of our game that we're going to focus on the most going forward.
Brian Lewis, New York Post.
Hey, Steve. In terms of the breakdowns, do you chalk that up to just legs? Do you chalk it up to communication for a new group? Or are these issues the fact that you have offensive-minded personnel, which that's more of a long-term concern? Yeah, all of the above. That doesn't mean that, because we have offensive personnel that we can't be better defensively. We got to improve. We got to improve our communication. We got to improve, obviously, getting guys into better condition. But we feel positive that we can improve defensively. But it's definitely got to be a priority for us.
Malika Andrews, ESPN.
Steve, I know I jinxed you pregame by asking about minutes, but in looking at the breakdown with both Kevin and James Harden playing 50-plus minutes, only going 4 deep on your bench, a big disparity between 2 guys on the bench and 2 others. Is it a lack of trust with the bench? Is it just the way the game was flowing? Why not dip in a little more to try to build in more breaks for those stars?
A little bit of both. First of all, we found ourselves in a hole. The second unit got beat up pretty good there in the second quarter. We relied on our star players. So, when you get yourself in a dogfight, when you're trying to climb out of a hole, it's hard to really go to the bench. We're in the game. We had a chance to come back. We got ourselves back. We had a chance to win, and we didn't do it. So right now, it looks like we made the wrong decisions. But if they don't make that 3 at the end of
the first overtime, it looks like it was worthwhile. So sometimes you roll the dice. The second unit didn't perform tonight the way we think they could. So we didn't go back to them as long and as hard, and we kept the rotation shorter. And we end up losing. So you could, say that was the wrong decision, but you could also say we gave ourselves a chance and had a 3-point lead with a few seconds left in overtime.
Bruce Beck, NBC New York.
Steve, games like this, even a loss, is this a part of the process, the whole building with this group?
Of course, every night has to be a part of the process for us because we just, are such a new group that we gotta, take advantage every time we take the floor, whether it's practice or games, to get ahead and to learn and to grow together. So, but to play in close games, to play in overtime games, win or lose. We won one the other night in a close game. We lose one tonight. They're important, win or lose right now, for us to get that experience, that collective experience.